Well, that wasn't very good now, was it? I'm Ron Juckett. It's time for the DoDcast postgame show. It helps if I look in the camera as the Washington Nationals were shut out for the first time this year, 13-0. Yes, it wasn't just a shutout. It was a blowout as the Atlanta Braves took another one in this four-game set. The Braves have won 2 of 3. Joe Ross tries to split the series before the All-Star break tomorrow. The Nationals could do nothing. Steven Strasburg looked terrible. Tanner Roark looked reasonably okay. And Sammy Solis just, oh boy. There was not much good to go through. Let's go to the totals, because we are bound to do that. One of those rough games, 13 runs, 15 hits, and an error for Atlanta. They now are 42-44. Washington, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error. As I said, the first time the Nats have been shut out all year, they dropped to 51-36. Julio Teheran with a win. He goes to 7-6. Pitches great outside of SunTrust Park. Steven Strasburg, 9-3 with a loss, but just had nothing today. Was done after 3 innings. He threw 65 pitches. Atlanta only swung on and missed on 3 pitches. He didn't record a strikeout. Just an overall terrible day if your name is not Bryce Harper, because Harper singled and walked twice. Ryan Zimmerman does go 1 for 4. There was the 1 extra base hit, Daniel Murphy with his 28th double of the year. But with runners in scoring position today, the Nationals went 0 for 8, and they stranded 9 runners. All right, here's the pitching line. Strasburg, 3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, all 3 earned because of a Strasburg error. 2 walks, no strikeouts. His ERA goes to 3.43. Now, here's where ball and strike count kind of get lost. 65 pitches, 42 for strikes. But as I said a minute ago, only 3 of them were swung on and missed. So he had nothing. Sometimes I don't see pitch speeds. I'll have to look at this one a little bit later. But I never saw him get past 95. He never looked comfortable. At one point, he took one off the hit. And at another point, he nearly tore himself off the mound. Just did not look good today. He looks exhausted. It was hot. It was, do I have a temperature here? 88 at game time with a 9-mile-an-hour wind. Again, on a hot day, he is nothing. Tanner Roark. Now, the line score isn't going to be real good here. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He did strike out 2. He gave up a homer. In 76 pitches, he allowed 51. He threw 51 strikes. Really, I thought he looked pretty good. The run total isn't great, and, he's still making mistakes. But, my goodness, compared to his last few starts, that's considerably better. Sammy Solis had a bad day. A third of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 2, struck out 1, gave up the homer. Again, he threw 34 pitches and 23 strikes, but had nothing today. You got to wonder if he's fully recovered from his injury. Didn't pitch well his last couple times at Syracuse, if memory serves me well. Joe Blanton, 2/3 of an inning and a walk, 9 pitches, 4 strikes. It's over. Teheran, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs. He walked 2 and struck out 5, 96 pitches for 67 strikes, and just looked in complete command. How the hell is he have an ERA of 4.79? Because he can't pitch at home. He has an ERA over 7 at SunTrust Park. Let's see. People watching. Okay, Seth and Judo. Seth says, can you think of any positive words for this game? It's over. That may be it. Hey, Judo. No, I can't either, Seth. I can't either. It was interesting to see Harper batting second today, and looking good at it. Brian Goodwin is a good player, But no, and I think that, we saw some good stuff with Tanner Roark. It wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't great. All right, I got one positive, Judo Joker says. For the 15-something ERA, Sammy Solis could be our next closer, most qualified bullpen asset for the job. That's what I get for reading people's sarcastic comments before I comment. No, I think he's hurt. We just had nothing today. There was nothing there to fool anybody. Ricky is off today. He would, but I would believe from talking with him that Solis just kind of struggled his last couple times in Syracuse. You just kind of have to wonder if he came off the disabled list too soon. Seth says Mike Rizzo needs to get to work now. This bullpen is unwatchable. Again, who are you going to trade for and who are you giving up? Closer is not the problem. I mean, you don't use a closer in the fourth inning. Strasburg just looked absolutely exhausted to me. You got to get games to closers. And right now, I'm not sure who gets you there. But we still, 3 weeks to go before the trade deadline, something will happen. Braves need to form a home versus away platoon for Tehran. I think that's true, Judo. His 6 starts on the road, his ERA is like 2.5. And then in Atlanta at SunTrust Park, which of course is brand new, it's like 7.5. So there's something there that they need to work on, whether he's just not a good fit for the park, which is unlikely because it doesn't seem to play that much differently from Turner Field. Or maybe he's just not comfortable with the mound yet. Some little things saying that they may trade him, but I'd be absolutely stunned with that. All right, let's go through the scoreboard elsewhere. It helps if I actually scroll to the right part of it. Let's see. Baltimore beat Minnesota today 5-1. St. Louis down the Mets 4-1 in St. Louis. The Phillies lost today to San Diego. They are now 30 games under 500 at 28-58, and they have played an unbelievable amount of one-run games, which they cannot win. Miami is out on the coast. They play San Francisco tonight at 10:05. And Judo says the one positive, Roark got some decent work, and yes, I think he did. His pitch count was very good. He never pitches very fast. He pitches to contact, and you never want to see him give up 3 earned runs. But I feel better about him going through. Seth says, I honestly feel like the second half, the bullpen will have an awesome second half. I just have a feeling. Call me. I'm not going to call you stupid, but I don't agree. I think there are some really, really big concerns. And the biggest one I have now, I think you saw it today with Stephen Strasburg. Because the starters have thrown so much, how much are they going to have left to go in the second half of the year? I mean, the division's pretty much decided, unless things absolutely collapse. Dusty doesn't trust anybody. And until he does, I don't see anything changing. If your manager doesn't trust your abilities, and this regardless of what you do in life, if no one trusts you to do a good job above you, then you don't have the confidence in order to do it. No one's gone out there and proved him wrong, and no one has publicly challenged anyone to do any better. Don't know what's going on in the clubhouse, but just I'm going to disagree. I agree with you, Doc. I want to know what you're drinking. And if it's you who are boxing, you can keep it. See if anything is said on Twitter that I can repeat in public. Sim Alex on Twitter says, I get a real smoke and mirrors vibe with this team. I would short the Nets heavily if this was a stock. You know what, Alex? For all the winning that this team has done, this doesn't feel like a team, a 50-some-odd win team. This does not give you the vibes of a first-place team. They're just the injuries you can't do anything about. when you're out there playing Adam Lind out of necessity in left field, things have gone pretty bad. Defensively, they're not good. Daniel Murphy, Stephen Drew made botches today. Adam Lind is inexperienced, cost them early. I think they really need to take a hard look at themselves. You cannot sit there and coast the final 3 months of the season, which is, I'm afraid, might happen. You look at teams like the Braves or even the Phillies when they play the Nationals, for crying out loud. They play them hard. They play full. They go all out. Is it always successful? No. But I just don't get. I'm with them with Sim Alex. I know what the record says, and this offense is incredible. But I just have a bad feeling about how the season's going to end. I'm optimistic about the bullpen. Seth, what reason would you have to be optimistic? Who would you depend on right now to get you a save? In the ninth inning, who's going to slam the door? If this team gets a starting pitcher injury, they're in a lot of trouble. I don't know who they were to do it. I mean, Jacob Turner was solved. AJ Cole came up and never even warmed up in a game. And I don't know. Okay, Judo Joker says, I was reading an article from Fed Baseball, and our good friend Matt Wyrick is over there. I thought this was a good point. If the Nats pull through with a division, I think they're going to win the division, Judo. Max is a very good case for MVP, not only because he's so good, and he hasn't finished typing that yet. I'm going to agree with that. I think the Nationals have 3 or 4 good MVP candidates. I'll throw, while Judo's finishing his point, I'll throw in Harper, Zimmerman, and Rendon, who's had tremendous years. Judo says, but because he's the one anchor for the Nats pitching. Oh, I agree. And Seth says, the reason I know the Bull was trying to be I just hate the negativity. It's called being honest. It'd be one thing if they were, they had pitched better at times as of late, but there's no one there that says, geez, I want the ball in his hands in the 9th inning. And so, honestly, for me, it's just being honest. Honestly, for me, it's just being honest. A well-constructed sentence, professional writer that you are on. All right, let's take a look at the minor leagues because those games have begun for the night. I must have switched around my windows. Top the 3rd, Syracuse and Rochester. Going at it, no score there in Rochester. Ricky told me he was starting for them. Eric Fetty starting for Syracuse tonight. 2 innings and 2 strikeouts. And boy, they could use Fetty right now as soon as he feels comfortable. Ricky talked with him late last week, and we'll have that interview up for you on districtondeck.com on Monday. Erie leads Harrisburg 1-0 in the top of the 6th. In double Eastern League ball, on top of the 4th, Potomac and Wilmington are scoreless. Bourne pitching for Potomac. Wilmington only has 1 hit. Auburn beat State College today 3-2 in the New York Penn League. Smith with the win. He goes to 1-1. Barnett with a save is first. Collier with his first home run. The Gulf Coast League Nationals beat the Marlins today 11-1. Alestre with his first win of the year, 1-0, the 1.80 ERA, and Garcia with his first home run. How about that? And the Dominican team beat the Angels 2-1. Adon with his first win. Costanzo with his 3rd save. Hagerstown and Kannapolis down in North Carolina were rained out. So that pretty much catches you up on the minor league today. Judo says the Nats lineup is incredible, but between all the stars, it's hard to stand out. You're absolutely right about that. Max is pitching, and when he lives in the club on and off the field, I'm assuming he says does, and I would agree with that. Absolutely. He's so smart too when he pitches. Hopefully he starts the game on Tuesday. Hopefully we're not going to see in a bit that Strasburg's headed for the DL. I mean, that's how concerning he was for me today. And yeah, someone else says he's regarding Strasburg, he's gasping over the temp is 88 or above. Then you got it. Hydration to me seems to be an issue. You got to drink more. You got to drink more water. I mean, you're a professional athlete. You got to be prepared for these things. It's one thing if I'm wounded at 88 degrees. I'm just writing and talking. Anyway, all right. So that will do it for me. Today we had on the site, Ricky takes a look at the first-round draft pick, Seth Romero from the Nats, who finally signed at the last possible moment. And I take a look at Raul Iglesias as a possible trade target he's a definite trade target for the Washington Nationals as your potential closer and what it would take to get him. Tomorrow, we will have a profile on Victor Robles, who plays in the prospects game tomorrow in Miami for the All-Star game. And we'll have our player of the week. So, thanks for being with us today. I'm Ron Juckett for Ricky Keeler and the rest of the staff on District on Deck. Give us a like on Twitter at District on Deck. Read us at districtondeck.com. Like and subscribe to the video here on YouTube. And follow us on Twitter. Or follow us and give us a like on Facebook. Yeah, it will be fun to watch the Nats versus the All-Star team tomorrow on Tuesday. I'm with you tomorrow. Hopefully it's a happier recap. For the rest of the staff at District on Deck, I'm Ron Juckett. Have a good night.